Hi, my name is Amjad Ali. So with the quarantine, I've had quite a lot of time to work and play games and do a few other things. But at one point, I thought I'll try my hand at something different, which is social trading. Now, social trading is when you're using platforms such as Etoro to trade on stocks. Well, when you can spend small amounts of money on stocks as opposed to spending large amounts. Now, I wanted to explain what I'm doing to for a few people, show what mistakes I've made, what mistakes you can avoid, and what to look out for when you're trading. Now, most websites and most platforms are quite daunting. They're actually quite difficult to work on. But the easiest one, if you want to start trading, is eToro that I found. Now, I've looked at about 4 or 5 different ones, and I found eToro to be the best one for beginners. I'm a beginner myself, so I've been on it for about a week, and I've been playing around with a little bit of money. So with eToro, you have virtual accounts and you have real accounts. So with the virtual account, you can see I've made a profit of $1,500, which is quite positive because according to eToro, 76% of people lose money when they first join. So I used this virtual account to get an idea of how eToro works and try my luck at trading and see how good I am or how bad I am. But so far I've done pretty okay, better than I was expecting. Now I'm going to move to my real account, which is my real portfolio. As you can see, I put a tiny amount of money in. I think I put in $420. Now, that's not a lot of money, and you can't expect to become rich overnight with $420. Again, this is me experimenting, putting this forward, explaining what I've done that's worked out and mistakes that I made along the way. So, with eToro, when you make an account, it's actually quite different depending on the country you join from. I joined with an account from Qatar, and I had to provide extra documentation to prove who I was, such as passport, proof of address, and a few other things. I contacted eToro and I said, is there an easy way? They replied back saying, I'm from the UK, I can create a UK account. I didn't have to go through the verification process. I just had to enter my national insurance number. So from here, you can see this is my account, and I'll explain what happens, what the tab on the left does. So we've got the watch list tab, and these are the companies that I'm watching out for. So I've added them to my watch list because I've got certain strategies in mind that I'll be using them. So even though I've got some here that look like they're not doing well, I have a plan in place for later on. So I've kept them on there, just keep an eye out on what's happening. It's a good idea to do the research on the companies and also to look at the opening and closing prices for each one on a daily basis. Now, surprisingly, not a lot of people know this. The markets have opening and closing times. Again, I'm reaching out to beginners, so I'll be explaining some things that seem very, very simple. Here we have the news feed, information that people will be putting up, and sometimes I put a few posts up on there. People tend to read it and follow my posts. We've got the trade markets. This is the most important one for me, and here you can get an idea of what's going up, what's going down. Just because, like for example, we've got United States Oil Fund, it looks like it's going up by 4.89%. Just because it's going up now doesn't mean that's a good trade to make. Again, I'll go through these at a later date, but I just want to introduce you to eToro. Now, one feature that eToro has that I haven't seemed to have found anywhere else is that you can copy people. Now, okay, as a newbie, you can try and copy people. I don't recommend it for the reason that I followed this guy here, Slow and Steady, and I actually lost money with him. Although he's making money, I wasn't making any money. Many different factors that come into play with this. You've got invest in copy portfolios. Don't touch this as a beginner unless you're going to put a lot of money in. You can invite friends, ask for help. eToro is quite helpful. They say about 7 days to get back to you, but they've got back to me within a few hours. withdraw funds, take the money out, but you have to have a minimum of $30 left in there. Settings, log out, and deposit funds. I think on a UK account, the minimum you need to deposit is £50. Anything below that, they won't accept. Now going into my portfolio. So in order to, if you want to make a trade, what you do is go on the trade market, do your research, look at the company that you want, and then you select the company. Now I do not recommend buying or trading straight away without going through the feed, looking at the stats. So you can look at what's the history, going up, going down. You need to read up on Bitcoin, and you realize at the current times there is Bitcoin halving coming up. If you know what that means, or if you don't know what that means, you can search online. And what this does is, well, Bitcoin halving, it's expected that the shares will go down and then jump back up rapidly, and that's based on what's been happening over the last few years. So if you look here, I think every 4 years there's something called Bitcoin halving, and that takes the shares down for a few weeks, and then the shares tend to jump up. So it's a good time to invest in Bitcoin. This is my personal advice. I'm not giving any financial advice. And then you can look through these, do your research, Google as much information as you can, and when you're ready to make a trade, you can click on trade. Now, there is sell positions and buy positions. Don't recommend looking at sell positions at the moment. I think you need to be a bit more skilled to be using sell positions. Sell doesn't mean you're selling your stock, you're still buying stock. Now, buy position, you're buying the stock. So the minimum trade for Bitcoins is $30, although each, I think each share is just under $10,000. So there is something called leverage that you need to be looking at. Now, as you can see, it's at 1 times 1 leverage. That means that you're investing, you're buying stocks worth $30, and that's a $30 amount that you'll be buying of from the underlying asset, meaning you're actually buying into the Bitcoin shares. And it says market open. Now with Bitcoin, the market is always open. With, I guess, with the US markets, you'll have to wait till they're open. I think they're open from 9:30 till just after 4 o'clock or 4:30 New York time. So I mean, here in Qatar, I think it opens about 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's a bit tricky keeping track with the time as well, when it's going to open and when it's going to close. Now, I have a new account here. So this is my new account made for this video, and I can only do either ×1 or ×2 leverage. As you use your account, you get ×5, even up to ×10 leverage. What leverage is, you get to borrow money. It's like borrowing money from Etoro and making your trade. So it's called CFD. So CFD is when you're not buying the underlying stock, you're actually borrowing the money, or it's like borrowing the money from Etoro, and so that it's as if you're doubling your money. Putting in $30 is as if you're putting in $60. So again, if you're making money, you'll double the money, but if you're making a loss, you'll double your losses. So I mean, I wouldn't be doing that. I don't agree with CFDs, and I'll explain that maybe in another video. But to keep the trade what we call halal, we'll be buying the underlying stock. Again, I'm just giving Bitcoin as an example. Some people might not agree with buying Bitcoins for various reasons, but that's an example. So I will always be buying the underlying stock. Then you can deposit your money in there. Again, you can do that with any company. And on my portfolio here, I seem to be doing okay. I've got one company here that's not doing well, and the rest of them are actually making a little bit of money. Again, this is like a tryout or example account, so there's not a lot of money in there. Now, let's say, for example, I had I allocated, let's say, $40,000 in there. You can imagine what the profit would be. It would be over 1,000. And even if I did put in 4,000, my profit would be 140. Doing nothing, literally doing nothing. 5 minutes worth of work. Because I knew I had an idea of these companies. I didn't need to do a lot of research into these companies. I mean, Bitcoin, everybody knows. Microsoft, didn't need to do any research. Coca-Cola company, I already knew that they're a company that always does well, and they always will be doing well. Western Digital kind of took a punt on that one. Beyond Meat, I made quite a lot of money on that one. I closed the trade because they weren't the percentage of increase wasn't so high at that time. So I did the right thing, sold the stocks at the right time, made a good amount of money, then rebought into there because I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's going to go back down again. And then this is the one where I bought at a loss, Upfront Media, and it seems to be going up by 4.2%. This is a company that I assume will be competing with NIO, competing with Tesla. So again, I took a punt on that. I read on a few articles about it, and I read that they did a large delivery last month. For that reason, I thought the shares will be going up, and it seems they've got some good reviews on the media, and the sales have gone up, and therefore the percentage increase. This one, although it looks like I'm making a loss, I know I'll be making a loss on this one, but I also know that the value will be going up very soon. Now, if I go into the stats, okay, this is what they were just I think less than 3 months ago, and I believe that they'll be catching up to there hopefully sometime soon. But again, not 100% sure about that one, but I do have few of the trades ready. If you look at my watch list, I've got certain companies in there that I'm pretty sure that will be doing well, and in my later videos I'll give you an indication as to what they are and how you can make money off those. So as an introduction, this is Etoro, and this is how simple it is, and I seem to seeing as I'm trying it out, it seems to be going well for me so far. And again, I know it might not go so well for me in the future, but if you want to follow me, this is my username, and you're more than welcome to follow me. Or what you can also do, I think I've got a couple of people yesterday who are copying my trades. So you can go into copy people, search for my name, and you can copy my trade. What that means is you will copy all my trades, and where I'm doing well, you'll do well. Where I'm not, you won't. But you'll look at the average that I'm making this month or last month. So if I go into the again, I've been trading for probably less than a week now on this account, and let me see if I can go through my stats. So going through my stats, so far I've not made any losses. I've done quite well. I'm expecting maybe to do a little bit better next month and up till October. After that, if this experiment doesn't go very well, I'll close my account down. But as of now, on an average, I'm up by 6%. So let's say if you put in 10,000, you'll be up by 600 pounds in a matter of I'd say about 5 days. So you can look into that. My risk rating is 6, and the highest I'm allowed is 7 because I have a new account, and 10 is actually the maximum risk. But it's put my risk rating at 6. I wouldn't have thought I'm taking that much of a risk. But yep, you can go through all my data here and see what I've been doing well, what I haven't. This is the guy that I mentioned earlier that I made a loss on, and if I go into him, you'll realize that although he is doing very well, he was doing well, I copied him at the wrong time. For that reason, I made a loss. So just because someone's doing well constantly, I think April he was on 1.29%. That doesn't always mean that you'll also be doing well. So what was I on? 1.29. So far, I mean, the month hasn't finished. So far I'm on 6.21, and hopefully if this goes well, and get your comments and your feedback as to how you think I'm doing, or what I could be doing better, or maybe if I could provide some advice. I'll look at making a few more videos and explain certain areas and why and how I made some of the trades, and how you can do the same as well, and what to look out for. Thank you for watching.